What's up, guys?
Hey!
Welcome to another video. Many of you know we are pretty good with our budgeting. Money. We are pretty good with money and saving money. And as we have been traveling for over a year now, we thought we're gonna film a little video for you and give you some useful tips and tricks on how to travel the world on a budget.
Yeah. How do we do that?
And exactly, how do we do that? So stay tuned, this video will be full of useful tips and advices. So let's not wait any longer and let's start with tip number one, and that is use incognito window in your browser while searching for flights.
Accommodations.
Or accommodations. Here's the thing, most of the websites, specifically websites for booking your flights or accommodations, are always tracking your activity. It's called cookies.
Yeah.
If you have ever seen Approve the Cookies windows, that's basically tracking tool. And once you look for prices on the website and then let's say you don't decide to buy it and then you go back again, they know you are interested in that particular flight on that particular day and rank up the price. Very often price is changing from one day to another one.
We noticed it ourselves many times.
Yeah, so highly recommend to turn on incognito window. That disables all the cookies and all the tracking, so you are invisible and you have the best price. In case you don't want to do that, we encourage you to use a VPN service. We talked about VPN in the previous videos.
Yeah, many times.
The VPN we are using and the world's fastest and the most secure VPN is in our description, so we're gonna leave a link for you guys.
Tip number 2 is that it is statistically proven that the flights are the cheapest on the Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
And that is actually true, guys. We tried it ourselves
many times.
And Tuesdays and Wednesdays are by far the cheapest days to book a flight for, to fly. So make sure you look at those days if you want to fly. Also, what do we use for a booking a flight? We use a website called skyscanner.com.
Yeah.
It's amazing website, plenty of or all of the flights possible actually, and the most interesting thing about Skyscanner, it actually allows you to choose destination as a anywhere or everywhere.
Yeah, so if you are not linked or tied with the times or destinations, this is the great option for you.
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to add to that is if you find a price on the Skyscanner, make sure you go and compare that same price with the official airline website. Sometimes it might be cheaper as well. Okay guys, and fact number 3, and this is going to be really controversial. We do not recommend you to use booking.com.
In fact, I think we haven't used it even once to book a hotel room anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think we did.
No.
The only reason is booking.com is by far the most expensive booking platform.
Yeah.
For Europe, we use normally
hotels.com.
Hotels.com.
Yeah.
Interesting thing about hotels.com is you can collect the points by the nights you are staying in hotels, and in the end you can get a free room or a room upgrade or
it's
whatever.
like a reward program they have.
Which is super cool.
Yeah.
For Asia we use
Agoda.
Agoda is by far the cheapest booking platform. We are using it on a daily basis, always recommending it. The only thing I would add to that is, guys, always compare prices on Agoda app on your phone. Download the app Agoda to your phone and compare it to the laptop or website.
We recommend you to check the prices on both devices because they can vary. in
fact, we have experience when we were trying to book a room for the same night, literally the same thing, and we booked through the phone and we checked through the phone and then we checked through the website, and on the phone it was actually $5 per night
I think so,
cheaper. Also, we would highly recommend you to try a hostel. The best hostel booking website is
Hostel World.
hostelworld.com. We were skeptical, we mentioned that in a previous video, but hostels are the best way how to meet new people.
Definitely.
Get out of your comfort zone. Definitely, guys, remember, every time you go out of your comfort zone, it ends up really well and you are very happy.
The best things happen then.
Yeah. And the tip number 4, by the way, sorry guys, we are a little red, we just had an amazing blast and laugh because we've completely failed by a scene. If I will keep that scene, I will show it right now. Okay, let's go to tip number 4. This one is pretty obvious one, but we would definitely recommend you to try to fly only with a cabbage luggage. I think I drank too much. I think I drank too much coffee.
So.
Focus, idiot. Focus.
Oh,
okay.
So hard.
Okay, let's go back to tip number 4. We would definitely recommend you to fly only with the cabin luggage.
Yeah, it's a great way how to save some money. And another thing, we realized that we don't use more than 50% of the things we carry with us.
Even more than that. So we normally use 20% out of just self-reflection, guys. Have a look, rewind the trips you had and how much of the items have you used actually. If you use all of them, most probably that's not the option for you, but if you are one of these people like us, we pack a lot and we never use nothing. Try to stick to a cabin luggage again and you will save quite a lot of money because these days luggage is really expensive.
It can be expensive, yeah.
Guys, if you are enjoying this content so far, you can buy us a coffee now. Link is in the description and we both love coffee, so thank you and we really appreciate that. Okay guys, let's go back to the topic and we continue with the tip number 5, and that is don't be afraid to travel during the off season or during the rainy season. It's only misconception, it always rains. Many people are asking us over Instagram, since we live in Bali, how is the rainy season in Bali, and everyone is afraid it's raining all day long for a half year.
It's not true. In fact, it's even hotter outside when it doesn't rain. Usually prices are lower for accommodations and the flights to destinations, and there are much less tourists around. Yeah,
so don't be afraid. By our opinion, this is the best time when to travel. You don't want to be in the country, specifically country like season, Bali, when it's super hot and it's full of tourists and prices are crazy high. Try to avoid that and you will save quite a lot of money. Another good tip, if you want to save some extra money and you happen to be having a cooking skill, always shop at the local supermarkets rather than the large chains. They are often way cheaper and produce is very often way fresher.
Yeah, and another great thing is that you are supporting local economy.
However, we understand you don't want to be always cooking. Sometimes you want to go out for a meal. In this case, we recommend you to choose a lunch over a dinner. Lunches tend to be more cheaper, and they also have some kind of deals always. So
like a set menus, where you can choose 2 meals.
Or extra soup, extra salads. Lunch generally is always cheaper. Also, when you are eating out, try to go for local restaurants. Follow where locals go. Don't be afraid to even ask where to eat.
That's a good tip.
Also, guys, please avoid tourist traps, tourist restaurants.
Yeah, which are usually situated in old towns or city centers.
Yeah, prices are sky high. Quality is desperately low. Absolute crap. Pardon my French. We never eat in touristy restaurants. We will never do. And how to spot them? As Alina said, normally in the city center.
By the location, and
by the price. Another tip, guys, this one is pretty obvious. Try to use a local transport. Don't underestimate how cheap it can be. In Albania, for example, for us, it was shockingly low price compared to taxis and Ubers. You can save tons of money, and if you are on a budget and you literally want to get from A to B, go for a local transport. Is definitely cheaper option than the country you're coming from.
Another tip is always try to buy local SIM cards. For example, here in Bali, we use local SIM cards and we pay around £4, $5 for 25 gigabytes of internet.
Crazy.
Yeah, and if we would keep using our British SIM cards, I think we would pay like hundreds pounds.
Yeah, definitely way cheaper option than using your roaming, guys. I know there are some eSIM cards around the world and international SIM cards, etc. They're still really expensive. Get into the country, buy a local SIM card, pay $5, sort it. And the last tip, guys, is don't get fooled by cheap flights to the destinations you want to go. Cheap flight doesn't mean a cheap destination. And the best sort of rule of thumb is always check the prices of short-term rentals or hotels or Airbnbs. If the price of the rental is low enough, you can be sure the rest of the prices will be pretty affordable.
Good example are the top cities in the Europe. For example, Barcelona or Milan. Usually you can get flights within the Europe to these cities for quite low price.
These are the cheapest
flights usually, but the cities itself are quite expensive.
Barcelona, in fact, is the most expensive city in Spain.
Milan
the most expensive city in Italy, and also flights notoriously known to, let's say, Paris are the cheapest within the Europe, but Paris is extremely expensive, guys, so always do your research. Alright, guys, so these were our top tips on how to travel the world on a budget. If you have any more on the top of your mind,
share them with us in the comments.
Leave a comment, otherwise we will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.
Bye!
Bye, guys. Tip number 2.
Tip number 2 is that the flights are...
I wanted to say... Okay, guys, tip number 3, and this is gonna be really controversial.
Another tip for the ones who like to cook inside.
Okay, guys, and fact number 3, and this is gonna be really controversial.
Another tip is always try to shop in a local supermarket, or always try to have a... Another tip is that...
Another tip, guys, if you want to save some money, is always... Appreciate it. Slippery slope, it's not enough to please you.